Hi. I wanted to do another video, and I've been dealing a lot. I'm trying to get situated here, so you got to bear with me. This chair is needing to be replaced. Yeah, I was doing videos mostly connected to Seattle, and the reason I'm doing Seattle is because I don't know much about other cities that are going out of control like Seattle is. The cost of living is way high. The cost of rent is way high. The homeless is off the charts. The city council doesn't seem to care. Amazon's not giving back to Seattle. Microsoft gets a pass because Bill Gates has done an awful lot, and Paul Allen has done an awful lot for Seattle. So they get a pass. Amazon, Facebook, all those guys, they don't get a pass. Now, the reason I'm starting off like this is because I have this question. Is this the way it is? The way it is now, where the cities are starting to go to where everything's going to be way expensive. Now, I'm not going to bring biblical into it very much, but it does say in the last days that there will be major problems, and it's going to be very difficult. Everything's starting to get to where if you're not rich, you got to get. I wish it wasn't like that. I'm a firm believer that if you live in a city, no matter what you make, within reason, you should be allowed to enjoy the city. You should be allowed to have a life. You should be allowed to pursue your happiness. And you should have liberty to pursue your happiness. If you are income challenged, or if you are income discriminated against, income discrimination, if you happen to have that, your quality of life goes down, which in turn, your liberties go down because you have less of them. You are less liberated to pursue your happiness. When you have a higher quality of life, even if you can't afford to go to big $300 steak dinners, or you can't afford to spend $2,000 on seafood, or you can't afford to go to the opera every night, there's things that you should be allowed to do that should be there for you. I think the poor, the middle of the road, and the rich should be able to function in a city together. Because, let's face it, just because you're poor, that doesn't mean you can't scrape together a few dollars and go see Phantom of the Opera at the Orpheum Theater, which is what we have here. There in Seattle, it would be, I think, like the Paramount, maybe. It's just a matter of what the city wants in their city. I've talked to several people about it. I've asked the city council, and I've asked the mayor of Seattle. I've asked them, what kind of citizens do you want in your city? Do you want your city to only be made up of just rich folks? Like Abercrombie and Fitch. Abercrombie and Fitch is a private company. It sells clothes. And it caters to people that are, in their mind, the owner of the store that created it, he wanted it to be nothing but skinny, in his opinion, in his mind, skinny, good-looking people. Because if you're skinny and you're good-looking, in his mind, you're going to be looking better in his clothes. Because he doesn't want you to buy his clothes if you're overweight. That's why a lot of stores, they have an unwritten rule. They don't want to be known as the fat store. They'll cater to bigger women because that's still kind of pleasing to the eye. But if you got a big fat guy that's falling out of his jeans and his cracks showing, and he's scratching his butt and then scratching his head, and then he belches real loud. I'm not saying all overweight people are like that, because I'm kind of overweight. I weigh about 200, I weigh about 340 pounds, give or take a pound. So, getting back to the city, when I think about the cost of living and the high prices of stuff, I ask this question to the city: what people do you want to make up your city? Who do you want to represent you? Do you want good, honest people that enjoy what you have to offer? Or do you want nobody but rich folks that look good, but they're not really anything of substance? And I'm not saying that all rich folks have no substance. Bill Gates has some substance. Paul Allen had some substance. So sometimes you're born with substance, and sometimes as you get older, you acquire substance. Substance is not something that you can learn. It's something that that's something that you have. Some people have substance their whole life. Sometimes people they bring out the substance within them as they get older because they're more mature and they understand what substance is. Some people are just nice their whole life. They don't know nothing but how to be nice. And other people are just cutthroat. And you have an awful lot of people like that up in Seattle and other cities too: San Francisco, Los Angeles, Denver, Sacramento, Kansas City, St. Louis. Anywhere you go, you're going to find people that are just jerks, and you're going to have people that are just in it for themselves and what they can get out of the situation. Something to remember, and I say this a lot, about loyalty. And I say this about Seattle because some of the citizens that have moved to Seattle, they're not loyal to Seattle. They're loyal to the need of what Seattle can offer them. Like, when people say loyalty, people are not loyal to you. They're loyal to the need of you. And as soon as their needs will change, so too will their loyalties. Like people that move to Seattle for whatever reason, a quick buck. Like there's a guy on YouTube that I've been kind of keeping track of. I think I kind of annoy him a little bit because I post things that he doesn't want to answer for one odd reason or another. Like he thinks I'm just being a jerk, but really I'm trying to get to know him. And I'm trying to figure out exactly why he moved to Seattle, why he brought his family with him. And I'm trying to figure out why he's not planning on staying in the Seattle-Tacoma area forever, like until he dies. And he's not a bad guy. He's just somebody that I just kind of am interested in. He's very knowledgeable about the city. He's very up on things, which makes me wonder what he does for a living, which he won't say. I'm thinking he owns rental properties, but I'm not for sure, though. But whatever he does, more power to him for that. He's taking care of his family. He's a good family man. He's got a beautiful wife, beautiful kids. And, he's just an all-around nice guy. But I don't know who he's catering to when he does videos. Like for me, I'm catering to everybody. I'm trying to cater to anybody that can help make a difference. When I talk about things, about the high rent and about the high cost of living, I'm talking to people that can possibly help make a difference to those that can't make a difference. If you have the power to do something and you don't do it, or if you have the power to help someone or help something and you don't do it, that's a waste of your power. It's just sitting there and it's just not doing nothing. So I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now, and I personally Love Seattle. That's where my heart is at. I had to move away from Seattle back in the mid to late 90s because of an issue that happened back home. And now that I'm able to move back to Seattle at a time in my life where I can move back, I can't move back because of everything being too expensive. I'm called the pauper's budget for two reasons. One, I'm poor in the manner of speaking, and I know how to operate on a budget. See, if I could get back to Seattle, I could start helping people that are on low income. I could start helping them figure out how to have a life in Seattle. I don't really think that it's fair for people to be in a city and have to skirt by while the rich are saying, let them eat cake, when they've got no bread on their table for dinner. When people are starving, I don't think it's fair for the rich to say, let them eat cake. That's how the French Revolution got started, by the way, which that I don't think would be a bad idea if the poor revolted against the rich. I think it would knock the rich off their rung a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to keep this video kind of short, and I'm going to leave you with this question. And I'm going to leave you with this thought for you to answer. What kind of citizens do you want in your city? What kind of neighbor would you like to have? Do you want people that are just rich? If you're one of the rich, do you want to socialize with just rich people? And is that all you want to see is just the yacht club, golf swinging, posh club, $500 a night steak eating rich guy? Is that all you want around you? They say variety is the spice of life, but some people believe that the poor people leave a bad taste in your mouth. And I grant it, there's a lot of poor people that make a lot of poor people look bad. And there's a lot of rich that make rich folks look bad too. But when you go to bed at night and you think to yourself how your city is, are you living in a city that you're a part of, that's your home, or are you living in a city that's just your job? It's not a place where you live. You're in Seattle, but you don't really live there. Seattle is just your job. Yes, you have a house there. Yes, you socialize there, but it's not your home. It is just your workplace. So anyway, is this the way it's going to be? Is it changeable? Have we gone past the point of no return? Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. If you like my videos, like and subscribe. Hit that little button for the bell. Hit that. If you think I can do better, let me know. Give me an idea for a video that I can talk about. Something that you've been curious to know what I'm thinking about. Or something you've been curious to know more about. If I can find it, I'll talk about it. If I can do it in 10 to 20 minutes, we're good to go. If you don't like my videos, leave a comment and say, hey, bugger off. Your videos are horrible. I'll tell you thank you. I appreciate your comment. Let me know what I can do to make them better. Maybe it's my voice. Maybe it's the subject matter. Maybe it's how I videotape my videos. I don't know. I can't fix it if I don't know what's broken. Anyway, this has been All Things Considered, because I consider all things. Have a good night, Seattle, and all points beyond.